I mean, you would if you knew DJ, you would know that my opinion is considered but does not matter.
It's considered and it does matter.
All right, guys, welcome back to What's the Deal. My friend DJ Fortenberry and I, we do promise to be less emotional on this show.
I disagree. What you see is what you get here. I do promise to prove Harrison wrong multiple times in this show, though.
Ooh, I don't even know what we're arguing about yet, so I'm going to be just as surprised as you guys.
No, you know.
Oh, I do know?
Yeah, you know. Same arguments we had last week.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm down. Let's get it. Yeah. Okay, you guys will all get to see us make a bet. Mm-hmm. Although I don't know if we could release that episode until after it sells, if that's the thing. Yeah.
No, I mean we're talking about sales prices. We're talking about asking prices. We're not talking about.
Yeah, I know, but I wonder if that kills leverage. If like the public knows that I strongly feel X versus you. I mean, you would if you knew DJ, you would know that my opinion is considered but does not matter.
It's considered and it does matter.
Yeah.
On this particular one, I think the amount of money and the space in which we are arguing, it's like. I shouldn't say it's small, but it is small in the grand scheme of it.
In the light of like, okay, a $2 million deal, $100,000. Now look, $100,000 is a ton of money.
Yep.
It's not in a $2 million deal.
Right.
That's pretty normal. Like to see like when I'm in Dallas or Florida and I see a beach house listed for 3.5, it's not weird to see 3.2 as the sales price. Mm-hmm. Like it's just. There's just a larger margin for error in those price points.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyways, all right. So we have a few topics, and we'll debate a little bit as well, it seems. And the first one is a controversial topic. Full-time agent versus part-time agent. Mm-hmm. I have a few different thoughts on that.
As a former part-time agent, kind of.
I mean, you are. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think you had a very part-time experience. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I got part-time paid.
You mean not at all? That's what part-time paid is up in this business.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about it. I think it's fair to talk about this from a few different angles.
Yep.
All right, so part-time to the consumer, part-time as the agent, part-time as the brokerage owner or team leader. Mm-hmm. All right, because I think there's three different perspectives there.
So we can agree everybody outside of real estate thinks we all work part-time.
Oh, is it? Do you think that's a perception?
I don't. I'm not going to say everybody. I'm being grandiose with that overarching, but I think there are a lot of people. I have clients that had this conversation yesterday because he's like, man, people in this trade are the first to say hire a professional to do this. And then also the first to say, I'll do it myself, right? And so because they look at all of it that way, and I'm very overarching, but I think a lot of people look at realtors like it's one of the comments that comes up all the time, and I've had this comment for other trades as well. Man, why am I paying them so much, right? And they didn't really like in that. You know, if I feel like someone did a ton of work on something, then you don't second guess that. But I think really good realtors can show you that it doesn't look like they've done a lot, but they have actually done a lot behind the scenes. They just don't. You know, I'm not going to call you and tell you every single little step I'm making, every connection we're doing, every phone call, all of it's like
we actually do have that ability now inside of our new technology, and we're working on those action plans to release them to the public.
Yeah.
But we have identified. Are you ready for this? In our listing process, there are over 200 boxes that must be checked through a listing process. That is just to bring it to market. That's before transaction coordinating.
Yeah.
Right? So thousands of dollars plus 200 boxes must be checked in order for a listing to have been launched successfully in this company. It's a lot. Now, fun fact, we hired enough people where I don't have to check the boxes anymore. That's phenomenal. That does probably make us look like we don't do a whole lot. And as a salesperson, your job's not to do paperwork. Your job is not to be an expert marketer. Your job is to go out there and make connections. And so if you're not doing that, I believe at that point, you're not running the business right first. But ignorant, is that the word I want to use? I think that's a strong word. I didn't like it.
I wouldn't say ignorant. I would say ill-informed in process.
Okay, yeah, that's
like you
that's a
don't,
really
because
good way to
look,
say that.
as someone, as someone that has learned through all of this in this brokerage, I am somewhat of an anomaly for our agents, where I do have listings and I'm also selling. But learning through the process, creating the commercial side of all of this internally, and figuring out how to get things in, how to get them out, how to do all that stuff. I was very ignorant to how it should be done, but also it was just ignorant to the process.
Was it eye-opening to see how much work goes into it?
No, not at all.
No?
Look, when we did it is our job. It is our job to somewhat act as attorneys in finding information for people, which means you traditionally do a lot more work.
We're not acting as
attorneys.
attorneys.
We're not attorneys. I'm not saying
Okay.
that. I'm just saying in the regard of having every question, every foreseeable or perceivable question answered before anyone asks it. So you have to prepare for that. And if you're not prepared, then you don't look informed.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of homework you have to do on each particular little project. Camera angles matter. I mean, there's like everything that goes into delivery of product matters. And so even when I was at the city, when we did the Site Selectors Guild and things like that, like it all mattered. And it was a ton of work that went into it. And that was a week-long process. It was probably about 6 months of planning and preparation for that 1 week to get okay, maybe we'll bring something over, right? Like
I
it
think
was
that's
not a
governmental entity's favorite word. Maybe. When? Sometime in the future.
yeah. When we get to it.
Yeah. You'll know when the contract's signed. That's about the only time you'll know. All right, so let's go on topic. All right, so part-time versus full-time. A well-rounded view. Part-time and full-time from a consumer standpoint, from a realtor standpoint, and from a company owner standpoint. What do you want to start?
We'll start started for the bottom. Now we're here, right? We'll start at the employee side of it.
So part-time versus full-time realtor from the perspective of realtor.
So my perspective, if you are part-time, there is, again, I feel like I'm a little different. But for every 10 phone calls you make, if you get one or two answers, you're doing well. If you get one or two legitimate leads that turn into something, you're doing well. You're doing really well. But if you don't get any of that squared up, you have to make the phone calls. You have to put the time in. If you're not putting the time in and doing the work, you cannot make the money on this. And the first 6 months of this job for me has been a lot of low-hanging fruit. $25,000 property, $30,000 properties. Really, believe it or not, $5,000 and $10,000 properties have been my sweet spot.
And he says all that because we were blessed and fortunate enough to get a foreclosure package from a bank. We were very, very happy to do so. It gave us an opportunity to get DJ completely immersed into real estate. Like he got busy. I mean, was that week 3 or 4? Just like I'm like, hey, and me and him went and spent 2 days going to look at a bunch of properties. DJ almost watched me get killed. Didn't move. Just rolled his window up. That's all he did. It was great.
Air conditioning was nice.
Oh God, dude! I wish that moment was recorded.
Dirty Mike and the boys.
I almost got dirty Mike's. And so he just got like immersed in 40 deals all at one time, absolute scramble. And then of course, he was part of commercial relaunch. So we're completely rebuilding this thing. Our systems and processes in residential real estate, second to none, absolutely murdering it, killing it. Commercial, DJ has had to work really hard. But it's been a fun ride there. I just wanted to clarify why that's been his sweet spot. He's also doing $1 million deals left and right now. So
I send out $1.5 million listing agreement yesterday.
Let's go.
Yee.
And that would be like, what, the third one you've signed in the last few weeks? Yeah, so just want to let everybody know DJ can handle the big stuff too.
Yeah.
But he's humble enough
That's what she said.
to handle the lightweight.
And yes.
Yeah.
But no, going through a lot of that stuff, there was a huge learning curve, obviously. I think one thing, good segue into this too. One big difference between part-time and full-time, as a full-time agent, you get immersed in that. And I'll say being at a brokerage like this one where, there are people here throughout the day. A lot of agents typically work from home or work from the field. And I'd make a certain argument that if you're in the office all day, you're not doing it right.
I agree with that.
But also for me, the beauty of commercial, it's a little more 9 to 5, not completely 9 to 5, but a little more 9 to 5. And so if anybody wants to learn paperwork, they want to do any of that, they can come in. You can come sit in my office. I'll go through everything with you. I've done enough of it. I don't know all of it, but I've done enough of it now to be able to explain what I'm doing in each contract and stuff like that. And there is an opportunity to learn. As a part-time agent, there are things, look, I've had 45-day periods where people had to evaluate, which I had a deal on that one fell through. And, for their sake, thankfully they did 45 days because they got in there, did the survey of the land, realized there's a drainage ditch through the middle of it. They got enough money to build what they wanted to build, but they didn't have the allocated funds to do the dirt work that was really going to be needed on this project. So they had to back out yesterday, which sucks because, we were almost there, but they got through their due diligence period and realized it can't be done.
Yeah.
But the same group and the same agent, I told them, hey, I have another project just like this one that hopefully I'll be listing this week. He said, cool, we like those markets. Send it to me. And I was like, well, I don't know if it's going to be here, here, or here. He goes, well, if it's in this price range, send it to me, which was a really good price range to send over. So
nice.
I was like, oh, okay, maybe we parlay this project into another one. So it's the beauty of kind of, if you're part-time, you don't really get to work with other agents and stuff and as much. And if you're full-time, you do.
Yeah, and networking is a huge portion of this. And that's something that DJ's opened my eyes to. I typically sit in my office, lead generate, and then go on appointments and really don't. I mean, outside of hosting classes and stuff, I kind of stick to myself.
Yep.
And DJ is always, it's one of the reasons I don't get irritated at him for missing most of our meetings. And it's that I know he is always like chasing some sort of networking, political event, getting in rooms with business owners and boards and all that stuff. And he's out there. I mean, that is his form of lead generation. That's his cold calling. I know he walks into a room, and by the time, if there's 200 people in the room, DJ has met 200 people.
I try.
And so, no, you do a great job at it. I admire that. I wish we had more agents who did that. But if you're part-time, hard to do that.
That's right. I got a story about that. So people have asked me that, like, how do you do this? How do you do this? And I'm like, it's not hard. Believe it or not, when I moved to Monroe, I was, at high school, junior, senior year, I was kind of all-state athlete, stuff like that. But wasn't really the popular kid. I was a small school, but I wasn't really a popular kid or anything like that. But my two best friends were, and coming to Monroe, like part of the reason I came to ULM was I wanted to be far enough away so my parents had to call, before they came. But I also wanted to go somewhere where nobody knew me because I wanted to go reinvent myself. And when I got here, there was a story. Mary Kay, pink cars, makeup, all that stuff. She was receiving a career award from the chamber, like just, yeah, hey, you've done it. We want to recognize you, whatever. And she gets up there. She's like, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know how to say thank you. But the one thing I think I will share with you, because I get this question all the time, Mary, how do you know everybody in the room? And she said, well, as a young age, someone told me this, so I'm going to tell you this. I asked him the same thing. He said, well, I made it a point that every time I come to one of these meetings, every time I go somewhere, I just go meet 5 people in the room. 5 people. There's no town that's too big that if you consistently are meeting 5 people in the room and the same organizational type stuff, that you won't eventually know everybody in the room. And 5 people turns into 10, which turns into 20, you know, like then groups come together and And so it's one of those where it's like, oh, do you know such and such? Sure do. And I think there's even working with the mayor, it kind of blew his mind sometimes. He's like, hey, he'd ask me, hey, do you know this person? Yeah, you want their number? How do you know them?
Yeah. Dude, this happened to me and you.
Yeah,
how many times?
Yeah, it's like it's my job to know them. It's my job to know everybody in the room, and that was part of my last job, and it's kind of just who I am.
The same thing now, yeah.
And so now going out, like Mayor also tells this story about Meta and the guy coming into Standard. He and I are just sitting there talking, and he identifies his shoes, which clothes, stuff like that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I don't notice those things, but he noticed them because the guy had on $1,500 loafers.
Yeah.
Would have never noticed that.
Yeah,
I noticed that
like.
I sit in that coffee shop almost every morning, and I had never seen this man's face before. I'm like, that guy's not from here. And he looks at me and goes, yep, those shoes say he's not.
Yeah.
So I went over there and talked to him. Hey, you guys need anything? I work in economic development. We're in Monroe. That's the mayor. How can I help y'all? Oh, we're in town just looking at stuff. And like, well, I work in that. How can I help? He said, well, we can't really talk about that. Okay, cool. Here's my card. Do you need anything? Call us anytime.
Yeah. And as soon as somebody tells you we can't talk about it, you're like, but now I want to talk.
Now I absolutely want to know. Yeah. And that's happened a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But it's also, you also don't push that because you can overstep in a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
But in that one, like he kind of smiled when he said that, which, you know, we knew it was something real. But then, you know, like a year later, he's right in the middle. Like
he was at the groundbreaking.
Right in the middle of the groundbreaking. Yeah. And then Microsoft carved him out of Meta, and now he works for them.
It's okay. They're doing pretty good too.
Oh, I hope they bring one over too. That'd be cool. Like, hey, he's the same guy. He's familiar with the market.
Yeah, bring us some Anthropic over here.
Yeah.
So, and you don't, DJ, to our point, you don't get to do that. You don't have those opportunities if you're not fully immersed.
Right.
Now, we've talked about a little bit that the opportunities they miss out on. I think the part-time, if I'm an agent and I'm wanting to completely capitalize on real estate, I am thinking, how do I grow my business to the point that I can leave another job? That's not me talking as a business owner, even though I feel the same way there. Mm-hmm. But, you know, the other side of the coin, you have the people who get in this business to do one or two or to sell to friends and family only, and their goal is to pay for a vacation or something like that. How do you feel about that?
Well, so I have some friends that have been working in this industry for quite a while. One recently, she and I had talked about, you know, we were in the middle of a deal together, and she's like, look, she's like, the only reason I do this is because I flip stuff myself. She's like, I'm not trying to sell properties, but if somebody calls me, I'll absolutely go make a commission off where they need me to make a commission off of.
Of course.
But you got both sides of that. Like it's a very expensive industry to be in. It's almost like the restaurant industry. Like there's a handout on a lot of different things. I think when it's all said and done over the course of a year, with the subscriptions you have, the licensing fees, the membership, the classes, all that stuff, you're looking about $3,000
total. Yeah, so you're going to spend $1,000, $1,500 a year just keeping your license. Mm-hmm.
Upfront, first year is way more expensive than
renewals are, I guess, around $1,000, and then you've got, you've got your MLS dues. I think those are up to like $165 or $169 a quarter. So that's $500 something, and you have your end of the year renewals. That's going to be another $500, $600, $700 with your E&O insurance,
plus paying for continuing ed, plus paying for
you're
lock boxes,
$1,500, $2,000 every year. Depending on what brokerage you're a part of, you probably have some sort of monthly tech fee or desk fee. Mm-hmm. I've heard them as high as $300 to $400. Average is around $100 a month. Mm-hmm. Let me see. You've got your super key, so that's $16.99 a month. What else is it? And that's if your brokerage, like if inside the tech fee you actually get something out of it. like a CRM and stuff. But if you want more, then there's subscriptions for days, and you need AI subscriptions, all of those things.
And you get into, smaller markets are going to be